Hey everybody, it's been a long time. Um, you know, I've been going through a lot of awakenings ever since even before I made this channel, and I've grown spiritually to the highest degree. Last year, I awakened to channeling. And I'm sharing this because there's not many divine masculines who are truly of God, um, who are of high vibration, who God truly, I would say, accept and approve as his true son, as a divine masculine who's fully embodied now. I'm confident to make this video, and hopefully it will help many twin flames who are lost, confused, and who has also been going through transitional changes since last year. I did not know anything about channeling. I didn't even think that it was possible to talk to spirits. I would just help them. Um, I had my senses, I had feelings, I can hear as well, sometimes, whether it's telepathically or actually audibly. And in my awakenings, even before channeling, I've gone through a lot of stages, especially when I was with my karmic soulmate. And it opened the door when I and my karmic soulmate went to a psychic medium. That basically opened everything. And so I was also healing and also trying my best to find the truth and the answers, for myself, for my own growth, in my spiritual identity, my spiritual truth of who and what I am. And it's been a rough journey, That's why I've kept this channel, this YouTube channel. And every stage of my life I have videoed, I have talked about, even the most unpleasant, even the most type of identities that's part of me that now I can say are my identities. I have many, because of the kind of spiritual being I am as a hybrid earth angel, and much more, which I don't feel comfortable sharing that. But as a hybrid, a white and black angel, I had to go through a lot of pains. And these pains were eye-opening for me. Mostly in regards to self-love, in regards to self-respect, and also in regards to my purpose. What is my purpose? As a human being, we were adapted to this society where everybody already had this idea, and that idea was forced to all. And I can honestly say, looking from the outside in, it caused a lot of true spiritual beings who their souls and their spirit intentionally, and again, intent matters a lot, intentionally came down here to incarnate again, to live a human life. Not just for the sake of the experience of living a human life, but for the sake of the purpose itself. And so there are many true spiritual beings who have been lost and confused, trying to put the pieces together like a puzzle. Because it really is. It's like a puzzle. My life has been like that. And now I have been in solitude for a number amount of years. I left my toxic family. I don't plan to return to that. I don't hold any animosity and any grudge or any hatred. I've healed my wounds in regards to my family karmic cycles. And I just feel at peace now. I feel open. I feel I have a bigger space to receive. And it does get lonely and it does get tiring and it does get overwhelming, especially when you add in channeling. Again, there are many highly true spiritual beings like psychic mediums, true divine feminines, and the like, even low vibrational divine masculines, or soulmates, whether they're high or low vibration, have been open to channeling. And as for me, you can call me a newbie. I was not born into channeling, although others may have had that luxury and that gift. So, awakening to channeling last year, I would say this is a whole year now, almost a year and about to be a month or 2 months now, since we're heading into August. I've awakened to the truth of the layer in the spiritual realm. And what I found through awakening in it is that there's many people in channeling, many, who have taken it for granted. They have taken this gift for granted. They have taken it as just a tool, when in reality it's more than just a tool. It deserves respect, it deserves honor, integrity. And many who have been so used to channeling do not embody integrity. I'm not saying all, I'm saying there are many. Because channeling is just one channel, it's like a radio, it's just one channel. And only those who are of the highest vibration, who are ascending masters or angelic like myself, can command the channel alone. Now, I'm not saying this to brag. I'm not saying this for ego. Even though my spirit is in me, fully embodied, I'm fully awake. To be fully embodied as a divine masculine takes a lot of grit, a lot of suffering, a lot of tolerance for pain, because pain is growth. And I've learned that the most in channeling. Having talked with many spirits and having talked with my guides, you know, even my spirit animal snakes and other spirit animals, I have been in the presence of holiness, of light, And during my darkest times in channeling, I have found myself laying on the ground in my living room, gasping for air because my soul has already made a decision to save whoever that I have a contract with. And in order to save a soul as a divine masculine, it's a lot of sacrifice that needs to be done spiritually and physically. The physical body is the one that suffers the most, but it's the spiritual body that can anchor the physical body. Again, I was learning all this through the experience alone, and I made a promise in my divine intervention channel that in every pivot point, in every awakening, in every growth that I go through, I will talk about it. And I know it's been a long time since I posted a video. And so, in awakening to channeling, I've also awakened to who and what I am, who I really am, beyond being a hybrid black and white angel in spirit and in the physical. And I say physical because I am fully embodied. Now, a lot of twin flames focus on union, when in reality, union is within. And we have to go through the pains of separation. There's a stage of separation, or there's a stage of preparation. I had to know the difference between the two, and I had to dissect it and separate it in order for me to fully understand the depth of it. As a physical human being, we understand depth and we understand intensity. In spirit, it's about gravity. There's a difference. And so, like the song by Sarah Bareilles, I believe her last name is Bareilles, the song Gravity hits me hard because in regards to twin flames, that's the entire embodiment, is gravity. The love between twin flames is gravity. It's not bended. It can't be bended. It can't be broken. It can't be ended. It can't be not even molded or sculptured because it's already perfect as a whole, as what it is. But see, in the physical, we have limitations. And in the physical, we're in a society, again, that's limited to ideas that was passed down, ideas that were old, ideas that were of low vibration, ideas that didn't anchor high vibration of love. And so that energy affects our physical bodies. When we're around lower vibrational beings or human people, it affects our energetic field. It affects our energy core within us. And so channeling has helped me dissect all the pieces of my own puzzle that I've been trying to bridge and connect here and here in my heart. And now that I fully believe in channeling, which I think all those that has helped me in spirit, I do respect their privacy, and so I will not mention their name, but they know that I'm referring to them. Because I know everybody in channeling is hearing me right now, most likely. So, again, as a divine masculine, there are different dynamics, stages, process, phases that we have to go through. And as my spirit guides told me, I'm the only divine masculine around the world who's fully awake and embodied. And so it's very beneficial to talk about these dynamics, these phases, these stages, the process of how a true divine masculine really awakens to be fully embodied, not only in spirit, but in the physical. It's a lot of self control. It's a lot of sometimes going back and forth. Um, and others may question, well, what is it really happening? What is really happening in a divine masculine awakening? Well, one, as divine masculines, we're grounded in practicality. We're grounded in materialism in this world. That's the ego. That's the ego side. That's the human side, right? That's our human self, the physical body, the physical mental brain, the physical eyes, the physical touch, senses, hear, taste, feel, all that is physical. But see, a true divine masculine is internalizing it all. It's not about externalism, it's about internalism. And you may ask, well, what exactly is that internalism that a true divine masculine goes through? Wounds is number one. A lot of wounds. A lot of wounds. And we awaken to these wounds in dreams and visions, and also meeting people that are not coincidence. No, it was already planned. It was already destiny. It was already written because our souls already wrote it down with God. Now, I'm not religious because religion is a cult. For me, religion is just based out of a person, of their idea of what they want to push toward others. They want to control others. No, God does not live in a church. God lives in all things and everything. And so, the concept and the truth of what is said biblically, and I will get to the point where this really connects to a true divine masculine, because again, a true divine masculine is always anchored by God in heaven, nobody else. Why? Because a true divine masculine is powerful. And where do we get our powers? Through God. Now, other people will say the source. Well, that's specific. Who is the source? God. What is the Holy Trinity? The Holy Spirit, Jesus Christ, and God. Again, it's specifics, but it all comes down to who? God. Period. God created earth, God created all things for a reason, for a purpose. If there's spirits, and I had to question myself this all the time, if there's spirits and they're real, then everything in channeling is real. I cannot minus one or the other because it doesn't make me feel comfortable, or because I'm not used to it, or because it just sounds off or weird. Because in channeling, it's how a person channels as well. And I channel very differently. And I was told by my spirit guides I'm the only one of my kind that channeled the way I do. And so, I'm not going to go specifics to that. Because there are things that many people in this world cannot, are not able, they're not capable to receive that kind of high vibration wisdom experience. They're just not capable. And it's not to judge them, it's just they're not in that right consciousness to receive. They're not in that right space to receive. That's all that it means. And so, again, in this channeling, awakening to the biblical truths of what I've always known in the physical, because prior I was religious growing up, I realized that God is love no matter what religion you're in. Because God does not look at religion, God looks at your heart, period. But see, people in this world feel the need to experience that, and they feel that the only way to experience that love from God is through a religion, when in reality, that's not the case. Many of us, higher beings of light, came into this world to make a difference, is one. And two, to lift the energy vibration of this earth's crust, this earth's atmosphere. Because the universe needs to bridge with earth. And the only way for that to happen, again, is through us, spiritual beings of light. We have to embody our true highest divinity in order for that to happen. Now, many have had this understanding that your higher self is the highest divinity. No, I will correct you with that. This is the order of it. Human. Now, this is for a divine masculine. Okay, I awaken to this in my channeling. Human, spirit, soul. The soul is the highest divinity. That's for a divine masculine. For a divine feminine, it's different. Divine feminine, physical body, her essence, her spirit, and then the higher self. The higher self is the spirit of the highest divinity, which is the highest soul. That makes it 4. And so, awakening to this, I didn't even know much about divine feminines as I thought I did. Opening this divine intervention channel, I thought that I was a divine feminine, but in reality, I was awakening to the divine feminine inside me, which is called my inner divine feminine. And every divine masculine has one, and every divine feminine has an inner divine masculine. And so these dynamics, these identities inside us is actually takes a huge part into our overall experience in our human form. This is our human form. This is our physical self. And our physical self has limitations. Why do I say that? Because it's the truth. Like what? We die. We feel hunger. We feel tiredness. We feel weakness. We feel pain. We feel sorrow, loneliness, sadness, tears, all that. But see, in heaven, there's no such thing. In heaven, there is no pain, there is no hunger, there is no loneliness, there is no sadness. It's all love, it's all high vibration. So, our highest soul, our highest divinity, came down here to fully embody that of what is above is so below. That's what it means. Why? Because we are already of the highest vibration. But in order for us to fully embody that into our physical reality, into our physical human self, we have to surrender to the process. Now, all of you may ask, well, what the hell is that process? Well, again, it depends on who and what you are. There are many circulations going around about just having twin flame union, and many focusing on the separation. But in reality, again, pain is growth. It's growth. It's hard to accept that, but it's the truth. And the truth hurts. And see, many people will ask, well, why did we even come down here if we're going to have to go through all these processes and all these awakenings and we don't even know really how to go about it and this and that? Like, what's the whole point of it? Well, if you knew now what you knew then, or let's flip it around, if you knew then what you know now, how things would be. We're not robots. There's a process for things. And that process requires patience. And that process requires a lot of tenacity, a lot of resilience, a lot of consistency. Number one. If you're not consistent in who and what you are in the physical reality, in your physical human self, in the basic necessities or basic ways of your daily living, how can you be consistent in spirit? You see? You have to be it now. You have to be who you are now to invite and open that energy to your highest divinity. You cannot just say, okay, I want this, I want that, let's make it happen. That's positive thinking. That's not bad. I'm not judging it to be. But see, again, what is the process of it? You can't just think and say, okay, I want it this way, let's just make it happen. You have to embody it, which means what? Doing it, acting on it. And in this society called real world, 3D, there are many inconsistent human beings. Let's be real. You have men who protest about how much they love a woman. You have men who believe that, okay, let's get married, pop babies, and we're good and we're happy. We'll live a happy family life. But then what? After 10 years, they cheat. They find a third party. There are many men who believe that, okay, marriage is the end. No, it's not. It's just the beginning. As a divine masculine, marriage is not the end. Marriage is the beginning. Beginning of what? True love. There are many superficial things in this reality world we call Earth. And many would probably debate and ask, well, why did we have to come down here to make the world a better place? I mean, holy shit, we're only one person. I'm just one person. Like, what the hell can I do? And there's trillions and billions of people around the world. Well, that's why you have your team, your spirit guides, your angels, archangels to guide and help you, God most of all. And the whole thing here is that even those who are highly spiritually awake and fully embodied in their high conscious awareness of their true self in spirit into the physical human body, they too themselves have questions of like, well, what again is the overall collective purpose and reason here? Well, I'll skim it down very simple and clean. Earth was meant to be hell, period. Y'all may think that's crazy, but it's the truth. You can accept it or not, it doesn't matter, it's the truth. Your spirit guides will tell you what I'm telling you is the truth. Earth was always meant to be hell. For what? A testing ground. A testing ground for what? If you're rightful and worthy to God to enter the kingdom of heaven. That's why there is Judgment Day, but nobody knows when Judgment Day will be because only God knows that. Now you have all these religions, even from the Vatican way up, who will probably protest that, this and that. It's going to be this day, it's going to be that time. And then you have so-called people who are gifted, but then it's not clear. Their visions are not clear, but they just feel the need to let it out, which is fine. Maybe you have a purpose to also do that, to trigger other people to their awareness of however that is. Again, it's not a judgmental field here. Nobody's judging anybody in this space and all around. However you awaken to what you awaken to is the purpose you were meant to. It's not going to be the same for the person next to you and those around you. So, awakening to these things and channeling, it makes sense. Why did we come here? Why do we need to embody self-love, high vibration love? Why do we need to be in physical spiritual union with our twin flame? Why? What's the bigger purpose? What's the bigger reason? What's the one core hidden behind that veil that nobody can see? God's glory. That's the reason. It's God's glory. And many people and spiritual beings and spiritual human beings who are fully awake and embodied have forgotten God. That's reality. And so, as God is who He is, He has every right to test. Like He said, written in the Bible, He will test you like sword, right? A sword is beaten how many times by a rock or steel and then forged on fire, sharpened, right? How many times? That's us. We're being tested every moment, every breathing moment. And it doesn't matter if we're sealed as the 100, 55,000 or 145,000, it doesn't matter. The numbers can change. That's why in channeling, there is no such thing as numbers, because it's never accurate. In channeling, I was told, numbers, names, dates, not accurate. Can't rely upon it. See, there's a lot of things in this physical reality that many have focused so much and felt so comfortable to be in, that what makes them uncomfortable, they're one, afraid to step into, and two, they're either refusing, stubborn to grow. And even though pain is growth, right? And feelings is truth, and we have to embody pain and feelings so that we can grow to the truth of who and what we are and all of the above, with our spirit guides, our team, our ancestry, our family tree, all the above.